Hello, Sarita. So lovely to see you and to have you here with
So
us.
lovely to have invited me, Rahat. It's been years.
Yours, absolutely. I would say about more than a decade.
Yeah, more than a
but
decade.
I think we continue, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
absolutely.
that whole necessity of meeting. I think it is like I've spoken to you and there we are.
Yeah.
So that's the relationship. So thank you very much. Sarita, very, very interesting journey. I've known her in her last production, Avatar, where she's been, to where she is right now, a very, very successful producer who's done some brilliant films of late, the IC814. So let me start by asking, give me that one moment where you felt that, hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Rahat, I've never felt that. Because I came from a family which had nothing to do with films. I didn't come here to be in films. So the journey just happened automatically. Actually, I did mass communications and a bunch of us were just chosen to be at ZTV as assistant directors, and I just grew from there. So it's not about that one thing that ticked me and said, hey, I want to be in the business of showbiz.
So this was your calling.
This was my calling, yeah.
Interesting. So, Sarita, you've had an amazing journey where in your career. You've started your journey with Zee, with UTV, Balaji, some amazing production houses that you've worked with, where you've led the content business. The transition to where you are as a producer in your own company. What got you that? And you also did a short stint with INSEAD in a leadership course. Can you also tell me a little bit, was that a part of it which led you to your decision?
I was changing these various production houses. I was doing different jobs, but I just realized that everything I was doing was quite similar. The business was of course motion pictures. The style of doing the business was same. Only the people were changing. So it was only people management skills that I was getting, newly accustomed to. And I was bored, and I said, hey, I've always missed not having done an MBA, and I wanted to do something really short because I feel it gives you kind of a holistic understanding of the business, of any business. And after 25 years of being in the business, I said, hey, let me take the opportunity and do this leadership program at INSEAD. So I did 6 modules there for a year. While I was at Viacom 18, I was vice president of motion pictures, heading content and production. And I went there, and there were these 3 career counseling sessions I had with INSEAD. And in the first session, I was just like weeping because I was not sure. I wanted to leave the job. I was so insecure about the check that comes at the end of the month.
Absolutely.
I was not sure if I'll be able to manage on my own. And my career counselor said, hey, Sarita, you've been in the business for 25 years. What's your expense per month? And I just told him, maybe 1.5 lakh kind of thing. He said, are you trying to tell me that after 25 years, being on your own, you won't be able to, make that much money?
Lakh, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, that's ridiculous, huh?
And I was like, yeah, I mean, of course I can. Sometimes you just self-doubt yourself so easily. And I did the second session, and I was confident, and I said, hey, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going back and telling my boss that, that's it, and I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And so INSEAD was, responsible for me moving from being, from being a studio person, a corporate person, to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think it was one of the reasons why it happened to me also, because the whole Blue Ocean strategy is born out of INSEAD.
Yeah.
So if everybody asked me, what led you into this? I said, the objective of just making that difference in the learning place, and it was all INSEAD.
Yeah.
I think, I didn't do a course, but I read a lot on the books done by the Blue Ocean strategy, and coincidentally, it was one of the driving forces which led me to become an entrepreneur too. So wow, we are in it together.
Yeah, I think the program teaches you to lead yourself, lead the company, and lead the team. And I think it somewhere pushes you to be an entrepreneur. And I think that's how it happened.
Yeah, I think it also enables you to understand the do's and don'ts, the risks that you go through, but that you have it within you to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting, very, very interesting journey, I think, and it's surprising INSEAD's been responsible for both. The other aspect which I would love to know a little bit more about is everybody says Bollywood is, dead. Is it driven more by the content that you choose, or is it what the customers look at? Is it what the people choose? How do you work on your?
I always, when I do these lectures at Whistling Woods and any other institutions, I always tell them that you need to keep your personal taste aside and tune to marketable taste.
Okay.
So I'm not doing this business for me. It's not for me to go to the theater and see the film. It's for the audience. So film always has to be made for the audience.
So Matchbox Productions has done some very strong, compelling narratives in terms of... So is that the direction you all as partners have chosen? That you would like to pick up content that's more real? That's what touches the audience?
I think, we've all had experiences of, I've been in the business for 31 years. My business partners have been in the business for 27, 28 years. And the thing you learn about most is how do you pick up your stories, and that's important, how your concept is picked up. And that's a strength. If you've seen the kind of films we've done, Monica My Darling, or you've done Three of Us, or All India Rank, or Scoop, or IC814, they're all different concepts, and that's our strength.
Okay. So you have done art-based movies, art studio kind of movies, as well as reality movies, and you've also done regional movies.
Yeah.
Interesting, but what drove you to that?
So Matchbox, like I said, is always wanting to push the envelope, make films that we are passionate about making in terms of concepts, giving talent. We've launched Varun Grover, the stand-up comedian.
Yes.
Varun Grover. He directed All India Rank. Three of Us was directed by Avinash Arun, who just did Patal Lok, who's done Killa as one film, and this was his second film. So Trishanku again was done by a newcomer. So we always like to give newcomers a chance. So that's how Matchbox is built. We are a talents production house.
Okay.
And we strongly believe in that. So in that journey, we also invested in films like All India Rank and Three of Us. But unfortunately, they are slightly different kind of films. They are not commercial. They are slightly art house.
Okay.
And honestly, it didn't do well for us. So
Was there a learning out of it?
there's always a learning. I've done Kanchivaram and Firak when I was in Percept, and we didn't make any money out of those two, despite of them being at like a really low cost.
Yeah, I think Kanchivaram won an award also, right?
Yeah,
It won a national award.
Yeah, but what does that mean ultimately if you don't make any monies on it, right? If I want to continue doing films as passionate as that, if I want to continue to give talent a chance, I need to make at least some money out of it. I'm saying I don't want to make money, but I don't want to lose money.
Sure.
Right? And you wouldn't do a business which loses money.
It has to have. You don't, it has to at least cut you through.
You through, yeah. Okay. So, and that only encourages me to do more films. I mean, if I had made money on Three of Us and All India Rank, I would have taken that money and plowed it back into the business to do other passionate films. But sadly, because we didn't, we're slightly slower on those aspects in terms of doing films which are slightly different. I mean, we'd love to do them, but I think it will take us some time.
So what about the regional films?
So I think good stories and concepts travel globally,
Sure, that's true.
And emotions travel globally. And I don't think there's anything, unless it's so culturally or religiously embedded, we do stories which are actually agnostic with all these. So I think that they can travel, any good concept can travel wherever it can be. I mean, we are doing something in the UK right now, based on Scarlett Keeling, the girl who was raped and murdered in Goa.
In the South,
So that's being done with a UK production house, and that's traveled there. So Trishanku has traveled. It was a Malayalam film. We did it in Kerala, and we're hoping to do more regional films.
But all your subjects are very real life. Is it?
It just happens, real life has so much depth. We just get so attracted. There's so much traction
It's
with real
basically
life.
a story to tell, right?
Story to tell. So Scoop is real life, Scarlet Killing is real life, IC814 is real life.
Yeah,
So,
and your next few projects are also real life.
also real life, yeah.
It's interesting. Very, very interesting. I think it's also understanding that sometimes you're bringing knowledge to what people don't know about. So and it stays on. It absolutely stays on. Any kind of experiences which you feel have, any actor's experience or any experiences for a movie that you feel have been interesting enough for you? Where you've seen the passion of an actor actually making an effort to do it.
I've seen that on Andhadhun. I've seen Ayushmann Khurrana actually practice piano and learn piano. So there's no double using the piano, the hands.
Yeah, the movement.
The movement of the hands. It's all real, and it's all done by Ayushmann because he played those pieces, he learned those pieces. So I think actors, when they come on board and they're passionate about the project they're doing and they're excited about it, they're excited about the director, they go full hog and try and do whatever they can.
So I think it also gives in a more realistic approach to that they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a whole conversation on Bollywood versus OTT. Now OTT has become so strong. You have the OTT awards happening, etc. What is your take on it?
I mean, I love OTT.
Yeah. I know you worked in OTT all your life. I think the beginning journey of your life has been on OTT,
right? I think, with the stories we want to tell, those stories resonate very well in the OTT space.
Okay.
And that's why quite successful in bringing out content after content, in the OTT space. I always believe that the gestation period for an OTT series, like we've taken 4 and 5 years to do one show.
I see
right?
it 1-4.
Yeah,
okay.
I see it 1-4 is 5 years. We have another show for Amazon, which is 4 years. The one which we're doing now for Netflix is another 4 years. So the gestation period is long, but the conversion is fast. If you're confident and your story is compelling, you will always find takers for it. And that has, I think, again, is the strength of Matchbox. So we've managed to do that very fast. Bollywood, I won't say the word Bollywood, I'll say films, feature films. Feature films have a lot more boxes to tick because there's a lot of more money, involved.
Okay.
You need to get the good actors, you need to get good stories. There are a lot of boxes to tick. So sometimes the conversion of a feature film takes a while, but the gestation period is very short because you can make a film in 40 days and be out of it. Yeah. So, but I love OTT because I can tell the stories I couldn't tell earlier on.
You have enough time, right? Here you have only about 3 hours, or I think 2.5 hours, where you have to tell your whole story.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Also, a little bit on, there's a lot of, conversations going around Bollywood nepotism, inside, taking in people rather than the, talent, etc. What has your experience been of that?
Rahat, if you are running Blue Ocean and your sister works with you, what would you say?
Yeah, I only take her because of her capabilities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I am running a company and I have someone's daughter working with me, I take her only if she's good, if she is aligned with the kind of stuff which we want her to be aligned to. So it's plain and simple. And ultimately, people have to be responsible for their own actions, for their own take up their challenges and convert that to being professional
but you see a lot of it happening externally, Sarita. There is a lot of cases where one is not taken because of the talent, but one is taken because of the relationship that person has, or you have a lot of groupism. okay, they are in that circle, so I will only take that kind of audience. I know it's a lot in terms of feature films and maybe not in the kind of space which you're doing, but there is a lot of it, and I think there's a lot of it being written about also.
I think a lot of things has been written about it, but I would not restrict it to the industry. I think it happens in every industry. Okay. Wherever you are, if you know people, you'll try and see if you can accommodate them. If they're good, you will try and see if they're professional, and if they're good, you'll try and accommodate them.
Tell me from your personal experience with the whole journey and kind of projects you worked, what has been one of your most challenging projects and why?
There are a couple of them. Challenging would be three of us an All India rank because we didn't make the money we should have. So I think there are lessons to be learned there. In one of the studios I was working with, I had a real challenge because I was not responsible for a particular project, and the whole production team had fought with the promoters of the company.
Oh, wow.
And by evening, I get this call saying, there's no one on set. There is no production person on set, and go and take over. And I had to actually go with my team and ensure that in 24 hours for the next day, that the team was running and they didn't feel that they had lost out on a day of shoot, because a day of shoot can be many lakhs.
It runs into a lot of
so
money,
the responsibility of a head or person who's responsible for a certain task or a division is to ensure that shooting never stops.
So there's a continuity.
Yeah.
There's a whole continuity.
Yeah.
There is, people say that movie making is expensive, etc. How is it that you say yes or no to a project?
We don't look at it through budget. We just plainly look at it as the concept, first the story, the screenplay or the script has to work. If that works, we'll try and make it work, because stories need to be told. Good stories need to be told. So if obviously, like I said, economics is important, and we'll try and work around that. But the first thing you have to look at is the concept and the content. If the content works, then we go on to the next step.
Sarita, there's a very interesting movie which you worked on, Monica, Oh My Darling, and you started that pre-COVID, all on for a total theatrical release, and it came on to Netflix. Can you tell me why and how?
So we started this film just before COVID, had spent some money on it, and realized that the theaters were not running anymore.
Because of the COVID experience?
Because of the COVID space, yeah. And it was important for us to kind of mitigate the risks. Important for us we didn't know when the theaters would open next. So it was important for us to ensure that the film is seen. And the best partner we had was Netflix.
Was it easy?
Very easy. They loved the script, and it was an immediate take. Actually.
And I think at that point of time, there was so much of content consumption because nobody was going to theaters. So
No, COVID did very well for us, Rahat, because I know that there was no output, but we did a lot of development because we could write. People could write, sit in their houses, write, do Zoom calls, focus. And we developed a lot of our projects during COVID. That's why once the COVID was over, we could just like pitch and most of them, were just converted immediately.
Okay, one of the interesting movies that I have watched and I really loved it was Drishyam. And, and you're getting into a remake of it. A little bit about it?
Yeah, so Drishyam, obviously, we were stunned by what we had seen as the Malayalam film. Mr. Mohanlal, he's a great actor. The rights belonged to some friends of mine.
Okay.
And I called them, I was at Viacom 18 at that time, and I called them in. and Ajit Andhare, who was my boss, we all saw the film and did an immediate deal in terms of buying the rights. I think it's one of the best remakes Hindi could have got. Till
Brilliant
today.
acting, brilliant acting, brilliant production, everything. I think it just mesmerizes you till the end.
Yes. So that was Drishyam.
Bollywood, because of the glam quotient, etc., there's always a feeling that women, aren't safe out there. A little bit about your experience being in the industry and how has your experience been?
So it's been 31 years, like Rahat, I said, and I've never faced a problem. Okay. Personally, I've never been unsafe. I've been on set shoots. I'm traveling all the time. I've never been unsafe. But we know of stories.
Any project that's been out in the market which you felt that I wish I had done it? In terms of the movies that you've seen which have captured you, or you feel that you would want to do it in the future? A subject? No? No?
No, I think we just, accept whatever is coming to us. We do certain kind of films. You will not see us doing very high budget films. Our, like I said, strength lies in doing the mid-budget Andhadhuns, Monica, My Darlings, or Three of Us, or those kind of films. And we just believe that that's what Matchbox is about.
Okay, so since you spoke about Andhadhun, another lovely movie, you had Tabu and Ayushmann Khurrana in it. So a little bit about it. How did the subject come to you? And
Viacom and Sriram Raghavan, that is Matchbox Pictures at that time, had a deal to make a film. That film was supposed to be one called Accidental Apprentice.
Okay.
After 16 drafts, Sriram decided to dump it. Dump it meaning it wasn't really converting into a film he wanted
to be out,
to showcase. And that's how he said, listen, I'm working on this other film called Andhadhun, and why don't we just pitch that to Viacom? And obviously, rest is history, because we just loved the script so much.
Well, lovely story.
It's a lovely story.
It was also something which you couldn't predict.
Yeah.
Right? It kept you moving. There are a lot of stories which have a mystery angle, but by the end, towards you figure out what the story is all about. Sarita, are there any set kind of directors you choose to work with? Of course, your subject matter is very clear. This is the direction you want to take. So are there any set directors you look at wanting to work with, or the ones that you're already working with?
No, I think between Sanjay and me, because we have the experience and the relationships over the last 30 years, there are a set of directors which we are very comfortable with.
Sure.
And we love working with them. Of course, Sriram Raghavan, who's our mentor, Jaideep Sahni, who's a great writer, he's our mentor too.
Sure.
And these two keep helping us on what kind of content Matchbox should generate. Vasan Bala, we have...
I think it's also a comfort level in delivering the product, right? At the end, if a subject's taken it, how does it, the execution, and I think you're very comfortable with the way they take you through the whole project.
Sure. The other thing that we do is when we work with these directors, we're always hunting for stories for them. Scoop was given by us to Hansal.
Okay.
Monica, My Darling was developed by Matchbox for Vasan Bala.
Okay.
IC814 was picked up by Matchbox for Anubhav Sinha. So we are always constantly looking for good stories to tell. Those stories can come from anywhere. It can be an article in a newspaper. It can be a book. It can be life rights, like Scarlet Keeling is life rights. When we did Scoop, we picked up life rights from Jigna Bora, who was responsible to write the book Behind Bars in Baikala. That's the J-Day murder story.
Yeah,
IC814, Kandahar hijack, we took life rights and we took the book rights of the commander who flew the aircraft for 7 over 7 days and 8 days. So we're always looking for stories.
It's another thing. I think even a lot of international movies have come with good writing.
Yeah.
Good writers. So you choose the writers, or who does this?
It depends. Yes, we choose our writers. Once we have the concept, we decide on which writers can be a part of the exercise.
In the books, are there any
No. It's just based on concepts and the books that come to us. We have a team that reads it, we read it ourselves, and then decide. Thousands of books come to us every day, and so do concepts. But the ones which we pick up, we'll have to see how it resonates with the audience. That's more important. So that's the experience that comes with 3 decades.
So how does one reach out to Matchbox? If somebody has a compelling script, how does one reach out to Matchbox?
So we have a website, and we have contact us at matchboxshorts.com.
Okay.
You can reach us on the email ID.
Okay.
And more than happy to read. I mean, people do reach out to us all the time, and we have a team that looks at the concepts and replies accordingly.
Okay. Any interesting movies or shows that you have seen recently which have caught your eye?
I liked Presumed Innocent on Apple TV.
Okay.
I like Black Warrant. That's what I saw last.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
A lovely movie.
Yeah. And can I say I see it 1-4?
You can. I think I loved it.
Great.
I watched it with my father, and he thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
He thoroughly enjoyed it. Kept it, you wanted to finish it off.
Right.
You didn't want to. And I think when you want to finish off a series, that means you're excited in terms of wanting to know next.
It was a very tough task to write. That's why it took us so long.
Sure.
Because the story and the book is from the commander's perspective, Captain Devi Sharan.
Okay.
But after he flies for the first 1.5 days, which is from Kathmandu to Amritsar, from Amritsar to Lahore, from
Lahore to
Dubai, from Dubai to Kandahar.
Yeah.
He's just stationed in Kandahar and waiting for negotiations to happen.
Yeah.
So sometimes in a book, you have to see what you can pick and what you can add.
Okay.
To make the story more interesting. So we couldn't have him as the protagonist, and we needed a lot more to be coming in to the story. Like, for example, you would have seen the CMG, where you'll see Nasir Bhai and Pankaj Bhai and all these people coming in, all those characters coming in, because we had to make it a balanced story. We had to take the story forward, which would not have been possible if we would have only had the commander's perspective and hold him as a protagonist. So while he does come across as a protagonist, we have lots of other layers, which is very important when you do a series. You'll have to have multiple leaders
with the other characters.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the few series that I watched also, which, normally you say a good replication of a book is not easy. I've enjoyed the book more than the movie because the book says it in a very different manner. But I've got to say, and I think I was there when the whole incident happened, I think very well captured,
Thank you.
well. And it showcased it beautifully. It actually made you go through the whole experience again about what happened.
We also do very extensive research, Rahat. Like a lot of couple of years of just go into research, especially because we do real life stories.
Sure.
Like, for example, Scoop, which is based on the book Behind Bars in Baikla, was written by Jigna Vora. And in the book, it's all about her time in the prison. If I had to show, or Hansal Mehta, I have to give him the credit, had to show 6 episodes of prison, I think people will be ticked off. You have to also have a lot of other material that is happening around Jigna Vora that had to be in the state. I mean, right now, if you've seen Scoop, she goes into prison only in the 3rd episode and the 4th episode. So I think we just have about 1.5 episode where she's actually in the prison, while the book was all about the prison. So a book cannot be just taken and adapted to. It needs a lot of other work. Well, our researchers would have read some thousands of pages of chart sheet, just to ensure that everything.
You capture the moments
absolutely
perfectly.
Absolutely.
So, any interesting books that you've read which you feel you'd be keen on making?
Not about making, I read a lot of non-fiction.
Okay.
And I'm in an entrepreneurial mode now.
You've got to see what the audience wants.
Producer comes second, entrepreneur comes first. I'm reading The Startup Code by Mukesh Bansal. I think that's a real, a good book when it comes to understanding how to start a company and what elements and what ingredients go into a company, making a company. Yes. And of course, I love Ronnie Screwwala's book. I go back to
all the time. I've read it.
Back to it all the time.
Actually,
yeah. So similar there.
Okay. Any message you would like to give to aspiring producers, aspiring people who want to get into the Bollywood industry, and what is the perception that one perception that you feel people have of it, which is not entirely true?
Glamour.
It's not as glamorous.
It's not as glamorous.
It's a lot of hard work.
So many writers and so many actors come every day to Mumbai. That's not glamorous.
Yeah, I know.
You working on 16 drafts as a writer is not glamorous. People working in the sun with minus 5 degrees there's a lot of hard work. And a lot of people, we were shooting recently at a place in Bikaner, and they were shocked that the amount of hours, that we put in. You start at 7 in the morning, sometimes you end up at 2 in the morning. It's tough work. And for 300 pages of work, we're shooting for 120 days. That's a lot of work.
There's so many people involved in the whole.
But I think persistence. You need to be persistent about if you're wanting to be in the business.
Focus. I think it's very, very clear focus, which I admire with Matchbox. Having that direction that this is all that I want to do. This is the kind of films I would like to work on, or the kind of projects that I want to. So what's next with y'all? What keeps you busy?
So we have 4 commissioned shows on various OTT platforms. So those we are filming and writing at the moment. Of course, the next slate for 27-28, we are working on that. And we want to do about 10 films over the next, for 3 or 4 years. So writing, buying of rights, buying of book rights. So we're working on all that, Rahat.
So what keeps Sarita going?
Challenges. I love challenges. I want to get up every morning and face a challenge.
Wow, I think that's what keeps a lot of people going. I think if you have something interesting coming up, wanting to deliver it, anything on how do you tend to keep your mental well balance?
I meditate every morning. I do some kind of exercise. It could be yoga or right now functional. Sometimes
it keeps your mind.
Badminton. And I think that's the time you actually keep your phone aside and are just concentrating for that 1 hour or 2 hours.
It gives you so much of clarity, right?
A lot of clarity.
I do that every day. And I think I get up in the morning, I do my meditation, go for my walk, and I come back with a pen and paper. Okay, these are the 10 things I need to do today. So that clarity, you're absolutely right. I think that element. So it's very, very important to have that balance, because otherwise I know you're a workaholic like me, and your work is your stress buster.
Yes,
but I think that little element of me time and focus is very, very important.
Yeah.
Lovely to have you with me, Sarita, and it's been so, so great to have this conversation.
Thank you so much.
I had so much of learnings.
Thank you.
Thank you.